In case you didn't know, chess has been rising a lot in India recently. And one of those rising players is Praggnanandhaa. He was just 18 years old playing this game against the GOAT himself, that is Magnus Carlsen. So the game started when Praggnanandhaa with the white pieces started the game with e4, and this is actually the Sicilian. With a6, Magnus Carlsen marks the opening as the Khan Sicilian, which is not has played very much. And now bishop d3, queen c7 with the idea to maybe go b5, take control of the open files and all those things. Maybe develop the bishop and then go rook c7, put some pressure in the file. And now castles, knight f6, simple development move, queen e2. And now c4 is played, which is a very great move played by Praggnanandhaa with the idea to take control of the file of the square of d5 with the c4 pawn, and also this is not actually a threat anymore. And I can also go for knight c3, and then this squares will be too much control will be there for the white pieces. So knight d7 is played with the idea to go for knight e5, knight develops, and now knight e5 is played, trying to put some more pressure on the c4 square, maybe go for knight g4 or maybe even take on the d3 bishop. And now h3 is played. Okay, here of course f4 could be a very good move, but you can see here Praggnanandhaa said that the g4 square is kind of weak, so that's why he wanted to go for h3 to stop the knight from going on and hopping onto that square and giving some more protection to that square with the idea to go for f4 now. And now simple b6 is played to try and develop the bishop to b7. So now f4 is played, attacks the knight which is having a very good time in the center, and after takes, now bishop b7 is played. And now f5 is played, and in this position you can't of course accept the pawn, because after takes, now you can see here white knight is simply putting some more too much pressure and also attacking the pawn on d6. Maybe can go for like bishop f4, rook d1, and then the pawn will be attacked too much and like impossible to defend, to be very honest. And the knight is also doing a very good job putting some more pressure like there and all those things. So that is why takes just does not work, and here you should have just pushed, because after pushing now knight c2 and like rook c8 to put some more pressure on the c4 pawn, you can't actually go for b3 with the idea that I will go with b5, because after takes, now you can see here the knight is simply hanging there, and that's a terrible thing and position for Praggnanandhaa. That's why knight e3 should have been played, and now you can see here that the bishop is actually blocked in the diagonal. It can't develop normally. So that is what is not played by Magnus Carlsen, and he goes for like queen d7, which is of course a mistake, because now once after bishop g5, the bishop is actually has developed and it will not be blocked after knight c3 and knight e3 moves. So that is why now bishop e7 is played, of course trying like any random move, then takes, and this is actually resignable, simply resigns, everything is completely falling apart. So that is why bishop e7 is played, trying to put some more protection. And now rook d1, very good move, and rook c8, putting pressure on the c4 pawn. And now the queen moves back. This is a very, very, very good move, queen e2, because now I can push for e5, and after like any random move, or not this, like any random move I can push, and after this there is a tunnel vision on the queen through the rook on d1. So that is the main idea with the queen e2, which is of course a very great find by Praggnanandhaa. And now once e5 is played, this is actually very late for Magnus Carlsen, because after takes and then back, now you can see here the white knight can go on e3 and then to hop on d5, because this is in Sicilian positions. Remember that the d5 square is very, very important. So now after this is simply taking control of it, and that's completely good. Now queen c7 is played, putting some pressure on the c4 pawn, attacking it twice while defended only once. Of course, you can't go for like b3 because of simple b5 moves. Now knight e3 is played to protect the pawn, and now bishop g5, a very good move, of course trying to eliminate the piece which is protecting the pawn. Again, b3 doesn't work because of b5 ideas. And now king h1, a cold-blooded move played by Praggnanandhaa, a very good move. That is because after takes, you can't actually take my pawn on c4, because I will simply take the pawn on b6. And now you can see here the bishop is attacked, the pawn is attacked twice, and with the rook as well as the queen, and that's simply falling apart for black. So that is why you can't actually take back, and after takes, Magnus goes for f6, b3 to simply protect each and everything up, and now b5 is played. Now knight d5, and now here queen c5 trying to like I mean, the knight is really doing a very good job here in the center. It is an octopus knight, to be very honest, like putting too much pressure there. And now Magnus simply tries to trade off the queens, but Praggnanandhaa, very good move played by him, simply declining the trade and went with queen f3. After takes, a very, very, very good move played by Praggnanandhaa here. That is not actually takes back, because that's not so good. That is queen h5 check. You can't go for that. I mean, simply, yeah, everything is simply losing. So that is why once the king moves, it has lost the right to castle, and this rook is very hard to develop. Magnus is simply playing a rook down, to be very honest, in the end game. So now a very good move, rook f3 is played with the idea to maybe go rook g3, getting in, try to attack. If he takes, I take back with the takes back, and now you can see here the rook is actually having the very good file there, and after attacking the bishop too. So that is why Magnus did not like the idea of takes and went with bishop takes on d5 first, and after takes with the rook, the queen moves back, takes happens, and now rook takes on c4. The rook goes on b3, attacks the queen, and now rook b4 is played, simply trying to get rid of the attack, and now a very good move, rook d3 is played, protecting the square. So after takes and takes, that's what happens in the game. Now you can see here the queen is attacked, and I can simply go, like, once the queen moves there or there, doesn't matter. If hypothetically, if the rook has protection on the b7 as well as the b8 square, you can go for like rook b8 check. Once the king moves there, I can come back on b7, and then that would be simply trapping the queen. So that is why a very, 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 very good move, queen d1 is played, with the idea to go with queen b1, simply following the idea to go there. Once the king moves there, I go there and win the game. Or maybe to even go for queen d5, like queen d5, then I can go for rook b7 and too many mating threats, and as well as attacking the queen at the same time. So that is completely losing. So that is why after queen d1, g6 is played to trying to like escape, and now rook b1, the final blow is queen b1, the final blow is played. Simple idea, I mean, there. So now queen c5 is played to like get rid of the queen trap, and now rook b7, and here after takes back, king s2, see that, not even taking back. And in this position, like after takes, in this position, exact position, Magnus Carlsen simply resigned the game. I will show you. This is actually plus 14 for white. That's crazy, even though Magnus is up a pawn. So thank you so much for watching. I hope all you guys liked the video. Also make sure to subscribe and like, because this is a small channel. It would really help. And also, like, Praggnanandhaa was 18 years old, just 18 years old that time. That's crazy good for him. And check out Twitch and YouTube too. I also put some more content there on Twitch, like stream. Also have a Discord server, so make sure to join. Links are in description. Bye.